Son up, volume, man. Welcome to the scene where we talking about the streets and what's in between. Race, politics, the culture, and community. A world divided, but this pies of unity. Entertainment trends, how the system shapes.
Hi, everybody. It's
Hey.
nice. It's nice to be back. We've had a little bit of a break since the holidays, but we are back. I'm Ellen, attorney, professor, and writer.
And I'm Eileen, entrepreneur, HR professional, career coach.
And welcome to A World Between. Well, first things first, as you guys are noticing, there's some changes, not just in the aesthetics on the outside, but there have been some changes as far as the host. It is just going to be Eileen and Ellen. Eileen, we appreciate her and what she brought to the show. But we did have some creative differences, so we have parted ways in terms of being a full-time host. You may see her in the future. There's some things that she's passionate about, and she'll definitely come back and talk about those things. But it is still just going to be Nikita and I. Oh, I say Nikita, Eileen, Nikita. I'm Ellen. She calls me Nicole. What do you want to say about that, Kita?
I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, like I said, it is no hard feelings. We definitely would like to bring her back, on certain shows that she, really passionate about.
Yeah, because we're still going to talk about all the things. We'll talk about like entertainment, politics, sports. Well, who am I kidding? Not sports.
No
Not sports, nothing like that. I mean, those are,
right.
Yeah, no. Well, we're talking
Right.
about everything else, and the world between Nikita and I are twins, fraternal twins, and even though we grew up in the same household, the same values, have the same parents and grandparents, our views are completely the world between.
I don't know how that happened. I really don't, but we just see things differently, which is not a bad thing. But I think is the beautiful thing about it, she does help me to see things, a little differently about some things, but I still have the core of who I am, which I'm not going to change, but I am open to learn.
I'm not as open, but that's okay. Nikita does bring things in her own perspective, so I'm open to listening for sure. I'm never going to agree, but
Okay.
That's just her personality. So what are we going to talk about? It's like love weekend, Valentine's weekend. Nikita had a subject that she wanted to talk about, and I'm here to talk about it too. So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Sheryl Lee Ralph and her marriage. Oh, okay. Well, okay. But it is so interesting to me because, when I think about Sheryl Lee Ralph, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's someone that is a diva. She's been around a long time. She's so beautiful. But I was shocked to find out that she has a long distance, not relationship, but marriage. So he lives on the East Coast and she lives on the West Coast. And I'm going to play this quick video right quick, of her talking about it. And then we're going to come back and talk about it.
Okay. Very fortunate. The man that I am married to, Senator Vincent Hughes, 7th Senatorial District of Philadelphia, he has his own life. I have my own life. He has his own real career. I have my own real career. He has his light to stand in. I have my light to stand in. So he is not looking at me thinking about status or this or that. He's doing his thing. I get to do my thing. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. I'm telling you, life is good. Perfect. I get to be the real good wife.
So, Ellen, what is your thought on that?
I think it's a wonderful arrangement. I don't know why more people don't do it. It should be normalized. Like, why is that a bad thing? Like the fact that so I guess we need to talk about it a little bit. So they don't live together. They've been married for a long time, about 20 years or more.
But they've been separated for the whole 20 years. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they've been able to maintain a 20+ year marriage. Because when you think about it, I think the average marriage is like 7 years. So I think it's worked for them. I could see how it would be beneficial for a lot of people, especially since they don't have kids together. They got married later in life. So I don't see the problem. I think it's ideal. I would be okay with that. I'm not a jealous.
Really? Okay. So, all right, I would have a problem with that.
Why?
Because let's talk about it. So, first of all, this is the person that you selected before God to say, yes, this is my husband. This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And why would you not want to be in the same household? I mean, if you love this person, that means you love them and you want to be around them. I think it's a little disrespectful, to be honest. If you are married to a man and you want to live a separate life than it, then what's the point of being married? I mean, it's almost like you're just dating because you're living here and you live there. What is the benefit?
The benefits is you still get the marital benefits in that you guys see each other. You
Oh,
vacation together.
oh, the benefits. So the benefits meaning financial benefit
So
or
you
what?
have, I mean, you have financial security. You still have companionship.
So
Uh,
how do you have financial security if they're two different households? What now if we look at them, she's worth like 20 something million and he's
mhm,
worth like 160,000 a year. That's what his
okay,
salary is.
okay.
So for her, she probably feels like, financially, she doesn't want to, but it doesn't matter because your money is his money, her money is his. So, I mean, I don't see as an average person, it wouldn't be beneficial financially because you're paying two different households and you were
But right, so for them, ideally, they're not the ideal couple in terms of finances. They
right.
are upper middle class, wealthy, not necessarily the top 1%. But in order for her to have that type of income, she has to work. And her work requires that she be in LA or wherever she films. He's a congressman, so his work requires that he be where his constituents are. So for them, in that particular setting and situation, it does work for them. So because she's able to work, she can have her own household and he has his. We don't
So
know their finances, so we can't really.
we do know that, sir. I looked it up. I looked how much he
Oh,
makes a year. I
okay.
looked up how much her net worth is. Of course,
And
this is a
do they
show.
own their house together?
Uh, she owns her house in California, so I
Okay.
don't know. It doesn't say about where his, but it just talks about net income, how much she's worth and how much he's worth. Now, let me ask you this question: if you were married to a man that made 20 million and you only made, would you be okay living separately too, even though he made 20 million and you made 160? Would you be okay separate lives?
Why wouldn't I? That's a
Okay.
comfortable income by yourself.
You girl, that is
Why?
not true.
You ask a
It's
question.
not,
So that's a
you
comfortable income by yourself,
you are
160 or whatever. And he
and
made,
you and
but
he 20 million.
huh?
Okay. And you would be okay.
Yes, because I'm sure vacation, he probably pays or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Money, I don't think so. Money, like marriage is a contract, right? It really is like a business contract, right? So they could be two corporations who have separate entities and they could be a conglomerate, you know what I'm saying, with all these different entities.
I feel, you know what? I feel like people who say that either they're difficult to live with or somebody's difficult because I would not want to be separated from my husband. I mean,
Well,
that's
and I
just
think that might be it too, though. Like, I
mhm.
don't see how, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it doesn't seem like a bad thing to, like, you have some spark in the relationship. You don't get on each other's nerves because you're not seeing each other all the time. Because I hear that people get on each other's nerves after a while. You know what I'm saying?
I just think that's the
So,
easy way to deal with it. Is to just
what do
say,
you
okay,
mean?
it's the easy way to deal with it because when you're not living with someone, because think about our relationship.
Mhm.
We work hard at living together. We have our own personalities. But we are. grew up learning how to share and learning how to, that's something I
And
feel
it's
like
still
is
difficult,
missing.
and we're 50 something. So
But I'm saying that because we work together and
yeah,
living together, that's what marriage is.
yeah.
That's when you take that out when you're just say, okay, you live here and you live there. That
But
that
that's an obstacle that, to me, people tend to, grow apart because they get on each other's nerves, and people are annoying. You know what I mean? So if you eliminate that aspect of marriage, the getting on each other's nerves because, like, you're staring at me too hard or you're snoring or whatever, then that's one less stress to the marriage. You still have a happy marriage, assuming you're monogamous. Let's assume that they're monogamous, right? You still get to do the fun things because even when people live together, from what I hear, my friends who are married, they all have to work. You know what I'm saying? They're not with each other 24/7. So you still have all the benefits without the stressors that make marriage difficult. You're not fighting over who did the dishes. You're not fighting over who took out the trash, right? Because he's running his household, she's running her household. So those issues are non-existent. So who's to say that still isn't a good marriage? Because you
I
don't
didn't
live.
say it wasn't a good marriage. I think it's disrespectful. I think
I
that
mean, disrespectful is bad. It's not good. So
I think it's
how is it
disrespectful
disrespectful though? Like, what if
because
you are two consenting adults and you are both consenting to this? Now, if one of them wants to, now obviously, if one of them wants to change things, and that would be a completely different story. But they're consenting adults who agree to this. So if you have two consenting adults who agree to this, then why not?
okay, I think like I said, that is the problem with marriages now is that people are not working together. It's almost as if because like think about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. They said they have been living separate lives forever. And what the problem that comes in, I think it opens the door for infidelity if someone is spending a lot of time away from their husband. I don't. I believe that because it's infidelity is an issue for couples that are right there with each other.
I mean, again, I'm different in the way that I think is different. I think if two consenting adults want to do that, meaning live separately, that's fine. Now, the whole open, closed marriage, again, that is up to the people who are married and the God that they serve. Does the Bible say that husband and wife need to live together?
Yeah, it says when a man leaves home and the girl they become one household. Yeah. So
Yeah, I need. You know what? I'm not a biblical scholar. We need to fact check that, and we'll put that in a thing. I want the verse that says exactly what it. Yeah, I need to see it. You know what I mean?
okay, that's fine.
Then if
But
it goes against that, then so then maybe I'm not. For me, the traditional marriage just isn't. The be all end all. I'm not saying I'm anti-marriage, but I think
I know,
marriage.
but right. But since this is a Valentine's Day weekend, we want to talk about like I just thought it was just shocking how many people were like, "Oh yes, that is bet that." But I noticed, like I said, she's worth 20 million. Would you
Mhm.
be saying that if it were the guy, if LeBron James, how much he's worth, and Savannah would be like, "Yeah, you do what you do, and I'll be here with the kids," and it just wouldn't work. I just
So
don't think so.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I had a friend who was Muslim, and we had a most interesting conversation. I don't know if we were at the airport, but she told me that her parents were in a polygamous relationship.
Mm.
Have you ever heard anybody? I had never met anybody who was a product of that. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, but she said in her parents' marriage, I think she was, what was she? Was she wasn't Nigerian. It was, I don't know. But anyway, she was Muslim. I knew that. That was her background. She was American. She was Islam. I don't know if she was Farrakhan's. That's neither here nor. Well, you know what? Shoot. I think I've just walked myself into a.
Uh-huh. Right. Because I'm
I
like,
don't like that. Is not. So let me back on out of that.
yeah, okay. Yeah. You know.
Because thinking about that, that is not equal. That is not necessarily good for the woman, because she said that her dad had to maintain the same level of standard in both households. They had to have the same, the same amount of house, same house, same standard of living. And yeah, no, I wouldn't want that. That I don't like that. No.
But
No,
I'm
that's
just
two separate households, but that's sharing and
right.
no.
I believe in monogamy. I feel like I know a lot of, and the people will say that the more money a man makes, the less likely he's going to be monogamous. And I don't 100% believe that. I think there are some really good men out there that believe in it still, even no matter how much money they make. But I think that it's important that we try to keep tradition in certain things. And I think living in the same house, would help eliminate infidelity. But I think that in 2025, marriage is nowhere near what it used to be.
What do you
And
mean by that?
meaning that people are not getting married, they're delaying it or not getting, especially men are not getting married at all. And then the question we have to ask is why? What benefit would a man get marrying someone in 2025 versus 1970, 1980? What's
I
the
think men get
benefit?
all the benefits. What benefits does a woman get in
I would
marrying?
tell you. So this is the
Most,
whole what benefit you said a woman gets no benefit?
I didn't. No, that's not what I said. I
Mhm.
said I think men get more benefits in being married than women do.
Okay. So what household do you live in? Have you ever seen where the man gets more benefit in 2025?
I don't know because I'm not married.
No, but I mean your friends are.
I mean, are they? I don't want to talk about my friends' marriages either.
Oh yeah, please don't do that. No, but what I'm saying is I feel
Men
like
get men get somebody who can cook,
oh girl, no.
clean.
You
They
l- I
what?
don't we most women now are modern day women and they're working. They don't believe in cooking and cleaning. I mean,
But they do it. That's
but
part of their how. I mean, women do that though. I mean, that's how. We don't want to go back to the pick me thing, but if you're trying to make yourself like desirable as a woman, what do women talk about to make themselves desirable? They can cook, they can clean, they
what
can. That's
what
how Keita.
what
Everybody,
show are you watching?
I used to do that back in the
What
day before I saw the
what
light. I used to put my plates on Facebook and do my Southern meals and how I can cook this or whatever.
when did you
That's
do that? What
how, huh?
year? What year did you do that?
20, I used to do that.
Back
Even
in the
when
day,
I was
in 20 like
2012,
16,
2013,
2012.
when I
We
was
talking girl, we talking about
what?
2025. We're not talking
You don't
about
see people posting
2012.
their food on, they really don't. I haven't seen
The
that in a
girl,
minute.
what are you
They don't. They
talking
talk
about?
about where they're going to restaurants and stuff, where they're eating. But
Girl.
women still do that though. Like we talk about like the pick me behavior. Like women, when women are selling themselves, because it really is like a market, you have to be someone who has a nice house, you can clean, you can cook. Nikita, even in
That's not what and
2025.
Nicole, if you go anywhere in this thing called Tonight's Conversation, it's like millions of views. You ask a woman, what is it that you bring to the table? And they will tell you it's because I'm a career woman. I have a college degree. I'm this. No one ever says, oh, because I can cook, because they don't think that that's valuable anymore. They think the same traits that a man what makes a man aggressive and what makes a man attractive is the same thing that a lot of women say they bring to the table. And we can't
I don't have
deny
friends who talk like that. I don't even talk like that.
you
So
don't talk like that, but the average woman, I don't want to talk about all women, but I'm saying that's why she's living in separate household because she doesn't feel like she needs to do anything in the household with her husband because she has her own household.
did she say that?
But why?
I think they live that way because of economics. I think her business means she has to stay in California, and his business means he needs to be in Washington or wherever he lives, where he's a go-to person.
So who's taking care of his household?
I'm sure he has a maid. He's probably paid somebody to take care of it. What's funny?
Okay. I'm just saying that's that's what a woman would say. That I don't do the cleaning. We would pay somebody else to do that. Or I wouldn't do the cooking. We'll pay somebody else to do that. I mean,
Nikita, who does that? Who says that? I don't know anybody who says. And first of all, don't ask me what I'm bringing to the table. That's kind of insulting in and of itself, right? You know.
Mm-hmm. So there's this social contract that happened in the 1960s and the 70s and the 80s, really in our generation, in our parents' generation, like right before us, but it's when it changed like maybe 20 years ago. But there was this social contract that a man and a woman had roles. When a man would get married, he would go out and make the money and this. And of course, the woman in our community would also work, but then they also would do the cooking and the cleaning. And the only job that the man had was to go to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that has shifted because a lot of in our community, women are working. They're making, some making the money. And so they don't feel the need to do the other things anymore because that's not in line with what they want to do with their life. They want to get married and have children, but they don't feel like cooking and cleaning is something that they were responsible for because they want a 50-50. And so that's where, because if you ask somebody, if I ask you what is the responsibility of your husband, what would you say it is?
I mean, I don't really even think about that, but that I feel like we're a team, right? We're working for the better goals of our household, right? So we're working together to help each other, to support each other in achieving our best lives, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Did you just make that up?
I didn't. It just came to me. What do you mean? You asked a question and I had to think of something and it came to my mind.
If you ask me, my husband, mine is to be my protector, my provider.
That's a patriarchal view of what a male-female relationship is.
But what has changed?
That's okay if that's how you feel, but that is a patriarchal description of marriage. Right?
Okay, and then explain to me what's the opposite of that? What is that?
I don't know if it's not patriarchy. I don't think it's one where the woman is I just don't think in those terms. I never have. You know what I mean? Even as a child, that was just not anything that I thought of, or I never thought of Prince Charming coming to save me or rescue me.
I don't think so. I don't think that I look at it that way either, as someone coming to save me. No, I look at it as
you said that a lot. I mean,
I don't look at someone coming to save me.
But you said that for us, it's important that we have a significant other so that we can be safe.
Well, when I say safe, I mean there's a covenant, like even talks about it in the Bible. There's a covenant that you get when you have a husband. Like
right. I said right.
Yeah, it is not necessarily a physical protection, but it's a covenant that you have with someone that if something happens to you, you be like, oh, okay, I know they have my back. That's what a covenant is,
Right. But when I think of marriage, that's not the first thing that I think of. You know what I mean? But that's one of the first things that we, in our personal conversation, you're like, oh, we need to have one so that we can have protection, so he can protect us. I mean, you say that a lot, right?
Yeah, but
I never even thought about that. I'm like scary all the time, and I never even think of having somebody to protect me. I just haven't.
Yeah. But I understand
maybe because I just never have had it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's
I mean, if we want to keep it real, and
we did have it with Grandpa.
I had it with my grandfather for sure. You know, that is it. That's the only time I had it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had it with my grandfather because I know I never forget that day when it was icing outside. Grandpa was sitting at the steps waiting for me. It was like I wasn't gonna go in until you got home, and he, so yeah.
So that is the only time, and we're not gonna talk about our dad. That's a whole nother subject. But yes, Grandpa taught me that, but I have never met another grandpa. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of sad. But I have not. I've never felt like the person that I'm with is going to protect me the way that he did. You know? I've never felt that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I don't think about it. Because yes, even up until I was in my 30s and I was teaching at night and we lived next door to Grandpa, when I would come home at 9:00 at night, he'd be right there on that porch waiting for me. Yeah. So Grandpa was born in 1915, and I feel like people are different now. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, that's me.
I agree. But Cliff, my ex, the one that passed away, I felt that with him,
Yeah.
That's why we were together for so long, because I felt protected, and
right.
So yeah, I get it.
I can't say that. So my point of reference is my grandfather, and that's how he was with us, and that's how he was with Nina and his daughters. But in my adult life, you know what I'm saying? That's not a feeling I've ever had. So for me, maybe that's why I don't think of that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that totally makes sense of why you're like, yeah, that's fine because they live over here and I live over there, and I get it. So not saying this was a therapy section, but now I totally understand, why you feel the way that you feel and why I'm like, I wouldn't.
And why I feel like that's an okay thing because, when they are together, I'm sure he protects her or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I think that I don't know how often they see each other, but I feel like if you still have quality time, because to me, why do you have to struggle? Like, why does there have to be strife? If you can eliminate that, and like to me, living with someone is really difficult. I think that's the most difficult part of marriage, from what I hear and from what I've read, not my own personal experience. It's just getting used to the annoying part of living with someone, because I don't like living with, like, you're the only other person I could live with at this point right now. We've lived with other people and
yeah, they were neat.
One time we had to live with our brother.
Oh girl. Oh girl. But that's how my marriage was like. I had to clean the bathroom twice a day, and it was difficult.
Is that what it's like living with a man? No,
but I would do separate bathrooms. Like, some couples have separate bathrooms. Now that is something that will save a marriage. You cleaned it though, but that's your bathroom and this is my bathroom. Yeah, that would work.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
But you know what? This was a great conversation. I learned a lot from you.
Yeah, it's been fun having these combos with the sis.
So what do you...
Go ahead, Kitty.
Go ahead. I'm just saying, so you guys, what do you all think? Is this a yes or a no for you all?
Yes for me.
Leave your comments. We definitely want to keep the conversation going, and we appreciate you. You could have gone anywhere else, but thank you for listening to our podcast.
And happy Valentine's Day for those of you partaking in it.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. It's a day of love. It doesn't have to be a day of romance. It can be a day of love. Bye.
Turn up the volume, man. Welcome to the scene where we talking about the streets and what's in between. Race, politics, the culture, and community. A world divided, but this positive unity.